Hi Pisces, welcome to your mid-March reading. Okay, so I waited to do your reading because this is more about what happens from the 11th onward. So your reading starts on the 11th and goes till about the first week of April. And then in the extended, we'll do career, money, physical and mental health for that same time period. Okay, so here we're going to do relationships, love, mindset. But we're going to just shuffle the cards without looking at the astrology and just see what comes up and look at it like a story before we go back and take a look at the dates. I will give you one date though. On the 11th, which is tomorrow, Venus will move into your sign, and then on the 22nd, Mars will move into your sign. So for you, things get easier. It doesn't mean that you still don't want to blow up at people. It doesn't mean that you don't have a bone to pick with people, but things get easier. So, the Hermit here is what you've been doing. Possibly because you knew that you have a bone to pick with people and you're trying not to do it. Possibly. But you have been in Hermit mode. And that might have upset a pretty stable relationship. But as the weeks progress from today forward, inshallah, things get easier and better. Different, but easier and better. You will realize that your time of isolation the past few weeks was actually very needed, because although things were working, they weren't working optimally for you where you felt that you were having that sense of satisfaction that you feel like you deserve and that everyone deserves. If you are involved with a Virgo or an Aquarius, they may surprise you with how they come through at this time and show up. And perhaps part of the issue with them is that they haven't been showing up. So it's a really nice surprise that mid-March things start to unfold the way you have wanted them to, and you haven't wanted anything extreme. You've just wanted to be treated fairly and to have someone be considerate of you. There's love in the air, but it's tinged with this fear of deceit. Can I trust this? For some of you, it's not even a romantic partner. For some of you, these are just people in your life that are making your life better, but that also makes you question them. Because you do have a hard time trusting. And you also have a hard time with power plays. So you may be stuck right now between accepting the love that somebody wants to give you, accepting the happiness that seems to come in the next few weeks, or to feel the need to control it somehow because you like it and now you don't want it to go away. Right? So even when things are going well, it is still easy, Pisces, for us to shoot ourselves in the foot. Just remember that. Now, if you've had some trouble specifically with a Virgo in terms of relationship, living together, housing, etc., you may find that their attitude just gets worse before it gets better. For now, I wouldn't put too much stock in that person. I would work on this Four of Wands by yourself. And I would voice whatever it is that has been agitating me for the past couple of weeks in terms of the relationship. Don't keep it to yourself. It's not going to get better that way. But just so you know, you may not get the response you want from this person because their timeline is much, much slower than yours. And they don't seem to have any idea of what your timeline or what your needs are. That's disturbing. And you know that. You feel that. You're like, okay, so You're going so slow. It doesn't have to be a Virgo. Virgo, Aquarius, Gemini. Okay, you're going so slow, but here I am going rather fast. And here I am with a very definable goal and future that I see for myself. Can you be a part of this? Because I have ambitions. I have a success story here that I'm writing in my head, and it involves moving away from the things that we know, moving away from the things that so far we have done together or that you have seen me do. I have a bigger picture for myself, and I'm wondering if you fit in it because you're not behaving like someone who fits in it. I need something more. I need something that I can build joint resources with. And then this makes sense, right? Because the lunar eclipse for Pisces rising is in that house of joint resource. So who you share your house, your money, your good times with, who you share your progress with, your ambitions with, this is so central to your decision-making process when it comes to a partner right now. You may find that the people or the person that you have around you right now is just lacking. They lack the ambition, the drive, the risk-taking, the strength, the courage. You know, everywhere you try to nudge them, maybe you should try this, maybe you should do that, to keep in line with how you're feeling, to keep, parallel to how you're moving in life, they seem to fall short. And it's very scary because it's not about emotions. It's not about fidelity. It's not about the things that it's usually about. It's about the fear of not having financial security. It's the real fear that starts to set in now that Aquarius has moved into Pluto, of what happens in the real world, outside of the world of feelings and this nebulous Piscean dream world and world of love and cosmic ocean. What happens in the concretized world when the rent isn't paid, when the mortgage isn't paid, when the car note isn't paid, when the tuition isn't paid? Like, this is not a point of view, concerns, topics being brought up that people are used to with you. These are the things, don't get mad, that generally you let slide. And so you can attract a very specific type of person who knows that you're a sucker for love and that they don't really have to have anything else going on. They can just be your person, and to a certain extent that'll be enough. Sure, you'll ride them here and there about, oh, you should get a better job or you should make more money, etc. But if they're loving you properly, they're well aware that you'll keep dealing with them, which is why as of the 11th, this comes as such a shock. Because you will meet people after the 11th that will fit what you want a lot better than what you've been dealing with. Now, for those of you who are in long-time established relationships, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. But these major changes that are happening in areas of your joint finances, they will make certain options, certain people just not viable to you. You don't have to be mean about it, though. I will say that. Please try to be as matter of fact about this as you can. Don't make this into something personal. This is not, you're a bum, I need someone better. This is, I feel like I have a lot of prospects right now that are more in line with what I want in life, and your timeline just seems very, very, very slow to me. And we've talked about this for a while, and this doesn't mean that you can't get on the same page with this person, not at all. But when these major changes are happening in your joint finances, it's very easy to dehumanize the other person, to demean them, to be like, oh, well, you're supposed to be doing this and you're not, this is your half of the load to carry. if in these moments you are able to show your partner, your somewhat partner, your situationship, whomever you're sharing money with, even if this is, okay, a business partner who's a friend or family, however much grace you are able to show them now, because it's very obvious that they're trying in their own way. But their timeline is very different from you, and they do lack some of the things that you have very much of, this confidence. You have so much of this confidence. They're very risk averse. So like that, they're trying, but their way is so much different than yours. And I think that for a while at least has been okay. But this Pluto moving into Aquarius has put a battery in your back, and you really want more. You want to utilize what you have around you. You want more out of your surroundings. You want more out of every day. You want more out of your money. You want more out of your experiences. You feel like everything has been dulled, everything has been watered down, and you're not down with it anymore. You want something that you can sink your teeth into, work-wise, relationship-wise. You're just ready for bigger things. You're ready to expand your life, yourself, your career, everything. So anyone who is not able to follow you into this expansive energy, it's not for you to be upset with them. It's not for you to demean them. It's not your job to motivate them even. And I think that's the one that we should focus on most, because I don't think there are a lot of you who are out there beating the shit out of someone because they can't do, what you want them to do. I think more it's that when you try to motivate someone who just doesn't have it, that in and of itself can be really tough, And if you have someone in your life, especially like this Gemini, who's like this larger than life energy for you, and you just respect them so much, and you feel like, this is the kind of person that you should be with, you may find that emotionally they're too slow for you. So it's not just to look at finances. Yes, there are people here who financially they're just not motivated like you are. You can't motivate them. They're not on your timeline. But then there are other people that you respect a lot and have all the things already that you would want in a partner, but their timeline doesn't match yours emotionally. This person emotionally matches up with you, but their financials are just not where they should be. And this person financially matches up with you, but their emotions aren't where they should be. And I think both of these examples show us what the vibe for you should be right now, which is stop trying to choose a way forward. Stop trying to choose which partner. Stop trying to make this reality go the way that you want it to go. Instead, understand that the more focus that you put on yourself right now, in freeing yourself from resentment, from expectation, from other people's expectations, the more you can pour genuinely into the things that you want to do, that you're interested in, that you want to be a part of. I think that you give either end of this spectrum the space that it needs to either catch up or catch up. But you can't make anything happen right now. You can't force anything right now, except taking that very honest and bold step and saying, maybe I haven't been as motivated as I should be. Maybe I'm projecting all this onto my partners right now because I feel like I've been stagnant. I feel like there's a lot of things I haven't taken, advantage of. So you notice mid-month especially that a lot of what you may have said out of anger in this next week, it actually applies to you as well. So there are many reasons right now not to lose it with someone because they're just not where you want them to be. One, it's much easier later when you feel bad to talk to them again because you will blow up at them for basically no reason. It's your own frustrations. Two, later in the month when you realize some of this stuff about yourself, you won't have as harsh of an arsenal of words that you've already used on somebody else to apply to yourself. That's a big help. And 3, I think there is a sentiment right now of everyone's feelings being quite fragile. And we don't want to run the risk. And I've been trying to say it, but not say it since the reading started. But we really don't want to run the risk right now of hurting somebody's heart. Yes, finances are important. Yes, making it in life, in the world, etc. is important. Of course, we want to do what we want to do to feel fulfilled, to feel happy, to feel that we got the most out of life. But none of that is worth hurting somebody or making somebody feel bad about who they are, what they are. You can go through March in deep acceptance of where other people are in relation to you, regardless of if you're with them or not. If you're married to them, dating them, used to date them, doing business with them, you can still love them. You can be accepting of them and not have them travel parallel to you. Especially when you realize at the end of the month that a large part of why you need your partner to be motivated is because you benefit off of being close to the drag of that movement. You can make it seem right now, mid-month, that you need them to be this and this and this because the future, because financial security, because, we're growing up. But it's duplicitous. There is a little bit of duplicity there because the bare truth is that you need a partner who's also going to create that momentum that you can benefit from, that you can play off of. And if you say that mid-month, it will lessen so much of the sting of how you feel towards another person, and it'll actually make them feel valuable as well. Listen, I need you to do this and this and this. I need us to think about you doing this and this and this because I need you to do it for me to be successful as well. You think that sounds selfish. I'm telling you it's way more selfish to tell somebody that right now they need to do X, Y, and Z or else they're just not keeping up with you. Because that's not quite how it works, right? You need them as much as they need you, as much as you need them to do better, to be more present, to be more involved, to be more ambitious. As much as you need that just for the happiness of the relationship, you also need that to keep yourself motivated. And it wouldn't hurt to let them know that, because it might actually be, for some of these people, it might be the motivation that actually works. Okay? Now, not necessarily about finances, but there is some unpleasantness here about the past. It's something from a long time ago. It's something that you have held a lot of resentment towards. You carry this thing. Whatever this is, you carry it, and it's heavy. And you've been carrying it for a while. And I don't think that you thought that it would resolve itself or you'd ever be able to let it go, or that something would happen that would give you the understanding that you needed. But this deep regret, this deep sorrow, this thing, this unpleasantness from the past, there are secrets surrounding it that are unearthed right now with love. You will find out what you need to know to be able to be free of that resentment. You will find all the words that you need. You will find all the info that you have been just waiting for. Like you knew, like, no, there's more to this. I know it's something that you've had in your head for quite a long time. So when you feel the weight of this resentment come off of you, it's spectacular. And the only advice I would give you in terms of that, don't freak out about it. At first, the truths that come out may not immediately register as, wow, now I can let go of this resentment. At first, this may register as, what the fuck? I just found out the most horrific thing. I can't believe they did this to me. I can't believe it happened like that. You know, at first it may seem worse, the stuff you find out. But ultimately, as you look at the information and you go through that, you know, spectrum of feeling, you realize, okay, now, as unpleasant as this is, I can let it go. Now I feel like this has been addressed fully and the missing pieces are here now. Now I can let it go. It's not pleasant, but it is liberating. And that can be said for most of March and the first couple of weeks of April. It's not pleasant, but these are some things that you have wanted to say and do for a while, and you have stuck to your nicety and you have stuck to your sweet spirit, and you have not said it, and you have not made anybody else feel less than. And you still shouldn't make them feel less than. You can do this without insulting anyone. Not that you don't have the right, but you can do all of these. You can get through all of these hard conversations without being the bad guy, without hitting below the belt. And if you're able to do that, next month is so much easier, because next month is when everyone's going to be throwing it in your face. Oh, remember when you said this to me last month? Remember when I was having this issue? Oh, well, now you're having this issue. You see how it feels? Like, you are writing in your karma journal this month. And everything that you say to other people turns around on you in April. So if these are good things, if this is understanding, if this is, you know, forgiveness, empathy, then that's what comes back to you in April. But when you have this much power, when you have people giving your word so much power, you have so much say, you have someone looking to you to accept them, to love them. When Pisces wields this kind of power, they're not always the kindest people. There's something about having power over somebody else, having the advantage in the situation, having the authority in a situation that brings out the worst in you guys. And it can make you mean, petty, very petty and mean, actually, hitting below the belt quite often. But it's like a boomerang this month. As soon as you get into that zone, just know that everything you're saying, because you know you get into that place where you're talking and you can't stop and you hear yourself being like, oh my God, please don't say that, but it's still coming out of your mouth. That moment, just remember what I'm telling you now. When you get there, when you get to that moment, Mercury is already in Aries. When you get there, remember what I'm saying. Every single thing you're saying, you're going to have to hear in April from somebody about you. So this is your test of, this is important to you. You're in the right. You have the advantage. You have the authority. How kind are you able to be when everything seems to be in your control and you have power? Can you deal with people kindly who have not been able to financially get it together? Can you deal with people kindly who have not been able to pay you back? Can you deal with people kindly who can't seem to catch up or maintain some sort of equivalence to your ambition? Or do these things give you the authority? Do you get drunk on the power of this and overstep and insult, humiliate, name call, judge? You get to decide. Again, not that you're not in the right. But going back to that Arabic word tariqa, there is a way of doing things, even when you're in the right, even when you are justified in being not so nice. This is what the season wants from you. It wants you to shine and say, hey, I'm so much better than I used to be. Even when confronted with what is obviously real world shit, we got to get it together. We have to be more. Even when I'm here, I am able to move with a sort of kindness that comes back to me tenfold. And I'm very aware of it right now. I'm very aware of everything that I'm putting out and how quickly it's all going to come back to me. Let that be what drives you from now until mid-April. Everything that you say, everything that you do, just imagine it coming back to you threefold, tenfold, 20-fold. Does that make you feel good or does that make you feel bad? Adjust your behavior accordingly. And it will keep you out of so much trouble. And it will also open the door to perhaps someone who you never have to have these arguments with. Love becomes easy to find over the next 2 weeks in somebody new. Now, if you don't want somebody new, the whole reading was about you so far. But if you're looking for somebody new, the next 2 weeks are so easy that we don't even need to really talk about it. All you need to do is get out of your old headspace and let these people come find you. Be outside where they can find you. But you don't have to do much. When you have Venus and Mars in your sign, you don't have to do much. Except stay on the right side of that karmic line. That's it. You keep your energy clear and loving. You keep your energy pretty for the next 6 weeks. And I think you'll be pleasantly pleased with the caliber of person that the universe sends you for being so kind to people who may not be of your caliber. You see what I'm getting at? It's a very interesting reading. It's a very interesting time for you because your growth isn't, well, in one way it's very personal, but in another way it's not, right? Your growth is in the areas of your life where your personal self interacts with others. This is not, you would think the Hermit card is first. This is also like a very internal thing. No, internally we're starting with the Hermit because internally you've come to where you need to be. You know what you want. You know how much money you want to have. You know what kind of life you want to live. You know what kind of car you want to drive. You know what status you want to be at. You know what type of emotional, financial security that you need. You're pretty settled on this stuff before all of this begins. And it's important. It's really important because, it's surprising for you, but no matter how much you love someone, it can't be denied that there are these other things creeping in around that romance saying, hey, there's a whole real world out here that we need to deal with. And I don't want to do all the emotional and the physical labor in this relationship. I think you're even beginning to realize that the emotional labor in a relationship should be meted out differently. But that's a conversation we can get into in the extended. In the extended, we're doing 3 more pages of notes. We're doing career and money, mental and physical health, and then we have some metaphysical advice, which is my favorite part. Okay, I love you. I will see you in the extended in just a moment.